guys, today I'm going to do a review and comparison that is pretty popular here in the beauty community on YouTube. That is comparing the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer to the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. These are both very popular. I mean, the NARS one is just amazing from Sephora, but it has the higher price tag. And the Maybelline one is also pretty good, but from the drugstore. Now, the reason I was compelled to do this review and comparison is because although there's many of them already on YouTube, a lot of people are all about the hype that this is a perfect dupe for this. And I'm sorry, but I have to disagree. And that is why I wanted to do this, to give you my 2 cents, because a lot of people here, they trust my reviews, and I really appreciate that. But I have used these both enough, and for several years for the Fit Me one, that I don't see it. I like them as individual concealers, but I prefer one over the other, and I just don't see how it's a perfect dupe. So, without any further ranting, let's get into it. So the first clear and obvious difference with these concealers is the Maybelline one retails for about $5 at Target, and the NARS one retails for about $29 at Sephora. So that is a big price difference, and I personally know, I've been through, I started my makeup exploration in high school when I didn't even have a job, and then I went through college having odd jobs, and now I work at a daycare which isn't really rolling in dough, so I understand that you can't always invest in the high-end stuff that you'd like to. So on that note, the Maybelline one is a good option if you need a drugstore concealer. Do I have concealers that I prefer from the drugstore over the Fit Me one? Yes. If you're going to go with Maybelline especially, go with the Maybelline Age Rewind. It is an amazing concealer. It's buildable. It doesn't crease. It has, tones that work for under your eyes. They also have a face one, and just the application is great, and I love it. Also from Maybelline, maybe a couple dollars more, but it's just amazing. I would go for that one if you are looking for a concealer from the drugstore. Is this one terrible? No. So this one, before I get any further, this is in the color Fair. Oh, that's another difference. I do have these in 2 different tones. I know that. I have this one in Fair. I have this one in Honey. Those are for 2 separate reasons. The Fair one I kind of like to use as more of a highlight under my eyes, whereas the NARS one I like to use as an all-over, like, under my eye concealer because it has the peachy undertone, so it really helps counteract, the blue and purple under my eyes. So that is primarily why I have 2 different tones, but I'm going to compare just the differences of how they feel, how they apply, how they last. Now, the Maybelline one overall is more watery. You can even hear that in the tube. Whereas the NARS one, not really. So, Maybelline's more watery, NARS is not. Watery is not always good because it's less buildable and kind of doesn't last as long and all that stuff that you really don't want in a concealer. So NARS kind of hits the nail on the head with, lasting longer and easier buildable coverage. The tones themselves, I really like this tone for highlighting because me personally, it's a good highlight tone. I really like this tone for covering the dark under eye circles because it works for me. So both these tones have their own purposes. I'm not complaining about either of them. The packaging. I think that's what really got people started on why this is a really good comparison, because they look very, very similar. Now, one of the differences, Maybelline's a little bit skinnier. Another difference is NARS just looks a little bit more high-end and nicer. It also has a little bit more weight to it. I do think NARS packaging is overall sleeker and better quality, but you would hope that if you're paying $29 for one thing. Overall, if we try to blend these, you'll see that both blend pretty well. Okay, now I'm just gonna blend them together because hey, I do that sometimes. That's the thing, is sometimes I will use this as my concealer first to get the darkness out, then I'll use this over it as a highlight, and I like pairing them together. I think it works really well. However, I think this one is a better standalone concealer, and this one needs kind of a little more help from another concealer that is less watery, or from foundation. They both blend really well, but like I said, the Maybelline one is a little more watery, blends out a little too easily, even with the tapping motion. So I would go with NARS because it just has better coverage, more long wearing. This one really doesn't crease, whereas this one does. That's my personal opinion. It may not happen to you, but I find that it's not that easy to find a concealer that doesn't crease. So I found that this one doesn't, just like the MAC Pro Longwear does not, and the Maybelline Age Rewind. Those are the only concealers I have found that really, really do not crease on me or have like very little creasing. Everything else pretty much creases like crazy under my eyes. So if price is not a problem for you, I would definitely go for NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer over the Maybelline. If price is a problem for you, but you want a really good under eye specific concealer, go for Maybelline Age Rewind and you will love it. Those are my thoughts about everything having to do with these concealers. I hope it was helpful. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful, and let me know in the comments below how this compares to other ones you may have seen that are similar. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!